Blog Talk Radio.
Live from Washington, D.C., it's Quintessential Listening, Poetry Online Radio. QLPOR, as it's widely known, features a bevy of poets, spoken word artists, and live poetry readings with best-selling authors. Your host is Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram.
Good evening, everyone. John Patrick Robbins has been a longtime supporter of the QLPOR podcast. He has been a guest on more occasions than I can recall. He is an acclaimed Southern Gothic poet and writer, also known as the Mad Editor. He is currently the editor-in-chief of 13 magazines. He is also the author of 12 books, the most recent being Midnight Masochism from Black Circle Publishing. John Patrick Robbins, welcome to the program. Again.
Michael Anthony Ingram, thank you so much.
All right. Oh, man, it's good to talk to you, buddy. It's good to talk to you.
It's always good to be on the show. It's about the only place I'm welcome. It's amazing.
Well, I got your check. So,
yeah, there you go. We're not supposed to mention that on air. Okay.
I knew it being bribed. So
hey, it works. Hey, money is very nice. It's like, what is this new commodity? We don't know about that in our community. And the poetry community, I mean.
All right. Let's focus, my friend.
Yeah.
I'd like you to share again with everyone. You probably shared it now 6 times. What inspired you to become a poet? I like hearing it every time you say it.
Okay.
I should know it by heart.
This is great. I'm glad you mentioned this. Well, you know, I was a male exotic dancer, and then there was a really big mishap, and I broke my ankle during a pole dance, and it was real messy. And then I had to, I was laid up, and really that's when the poetry came to me. And ever since then, I started submitting work, and I thought that would be a good answer.
Now, well, it was different last time your answer, and then that one was different than the time before. And you remember when you worked in the circus? Remember?
Yeah. You mean I never quit? I thought I was still there.
You worked in the circus one year. That was your
the work in the circus. I've been working the trapeze. I used to oil the trapeze, and then they told me, you don't oil that. And I'm like, it's different in the bedroom, but, pump it.
And don't remember the time when you told us that you measured the length of blue whales? that was a big
I don't know. Wow. Were we dropping acid on this one?
I remember it like it was yesterday, buddy. Like it was yesterday.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay. Seriously though. How do you approach the creative process when writing a poem? As you think about putting one together, how does that work for you?
Very cautiously I approach it, usually with a fifth of whiskey.
Okay.
No, I mean it's always it's just the same. I'm pretty much every morning I'm writing, or night, or whenever it is, because really that's the benefit of like not having windows in your place. I'm not in prison, I promise.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the same as it's always been. I'm when it comes to me, it does. When it doesn't, I don't worry about it. That's just how I work.
One thing we've never really talked about is writer's block. How does that affect you? Maybe it doesn't.
It does, like anybody else. Sometimes I think I probably get more insecurities than writer's block. It's just, a long time ago, contrary to popular belief, I don't just drink and I'm not just a lunatic. I remember I don't know. I was because who doesn't watch lectures on writing? And I remember one writer saying that, you know, with writer's block, it's just allowing yourself to write shit and saying, okay, that's all right. It doesn't all have to be, you know, fantastic. You know, just keep writing, and you can get through it. It's like anything. If you make it this huge roadblock, then it's going to be that. And if you build it up in your head, it's going to be that way. You know, just write, and you'll get through it.
So periods of creative drought, that's okay with you. That's okay with you. Is that what you're saying?
It's fine. If I write, I write. If I don't write, you know, life writes the page. I just take it down and misspell it greatly.
You know, I've interviewed now probably 400 plus people, and I've had some people talk about the fact that writing poetry is their life. Some claimed or alleged that they live their life like it's a poem. Where do you fit into that equation? How important is it to you?
I mean, writing, I know that I laugh and people are like, man, it's just sometimes it's when I hear some of these dramatic responses, man, I'm a writer. I reflect. You know, I don't have a life. A life, what is that?
Okay.
I work in writing 24 hours. I don't sit there and click pictures for my Instagram or tell you what a great life I'm having. I sit there and observe, and I take it all down. And that's how I write. That's my style. And, of course, then I write a lot of the dark stuff, and then people are like, wow, I wonder what John's doing, you know, in the woods at midnight. And that's none of your business. But anyway, you know, that's a party. It's a get-together. It's my social group. We like to knit. Yeah.
All right. One last question before you share a poem, my friend. Just one more. Well, there's gonna be a lot of other questions, but just before you share this poem.
Oh, I know. Believe me.
You've never, in terms of my creating the flyer and the other things, you've never made the statement or included the statement that you are a gothic poet. That's new. Tell me about that. A gothic.
Well, I mean, it was a slow build-up, and really that term, the Southern Gothic thing, was I remember I was talking to my good buddy at the press and my good big brother in real life, Kevin Hipschman, or however you say his name. He needs to change his name so I can pronounce it. You know, he knows I'm Southern, but, you know, he was going through some of the work. I share a lot of work with him that other people don't see because they would, like, call the cops. He was like, it's very Southern Gothic. And I was like, yeah, well, it was a change from the last book, definitely, Are We Dead Yet? That it just really became that way. And it's always been something I enjoy writing far more than, you know, bar poems or whatever people want to call them. Humor's great for people. It is, but that's not really true to me, to be honest. But it's part of me, but, you know, it's not just one facet.
Right.
It's just, that's all it is one facet, I mean.
So break it down for the people in the back. A Southern Gothic poet means what? That you write about what?
well, I'm from the South, so that's a location. And I'm very Gothic, and I actually sleep upside down in the closet or in my coffin normally. And I live off the blood of writers' rejections. So, yes, I mean, there you go. Yeah.
But when I think of Gothic, I'm not going to belabor it. I think of, what's her name, Mary Shelley, Frankenstein, and books like that.
Yeah.
So are you saying that your poetry resembles or is created as a result of those types of things? And I also think of La Notre Dame and those gargoyles on the it was still standing.
There you go.
You know.
I actually own a gargoyle. People are like, really? I'm like, yeah, I do. But I was always a dark writer to begin with, and I do love that kind of writing. I love Edgar Allan Poe, but I also write stories. I mean, that's the thing. I'm a short story writer. And, I do have a novel, which is finally, done. But I know at the, at the press, we really move at Mach speed. I mean, it's like the speed of smell, literally. I'm not insulting the people that work at the press. They're used to me being a jerk. So, like, it's nothing new. They're like, okay. And they're very motivated. If Scott works at the press, I mean, yeah, that should say anything. If Scott Simmons works at your press, it's like, wow. Yes. So that says enough.
Please share a poem, my friend.
Okay. We'll start out a little bit lighthearted.
Okay.
This is for all the folks in the back, in case they can't hear. This is, I collect fine wines and near-death experiences to amuse my friends and frustrate my enemies alike. I have approached the precipice, yet never stepped over that edge. Blood can be replenished, wounds sewn shut. The memories linger like my perpetual bad habit. It marvels some, it frustrates those closest to me. The edge is ever so familiar. I wouldn't know how to exist if I didn't have a near-death experience to reflect upon. As upon release of several of my books, I have endured a tornado, a house fire, a mild stroke, which wasn't all that bad. Sipped amongst some glasses of red wine, as others tend to keep their distance as the storm clouds stir overhead. Or I haven't been struck down by lightning yet, to which I grab their hands. For I have always enjoyed sharing a good buzz and a devilish laugh. For my most dangerous vice has always been my love of fine whiskey and ever so wild women. A broken neck stings a tad bit, as equally does a broken heart. Those emotional scars are far less to share, but a bullet wound's kind of badass to start up the conversation upon our first date amongst a sea of knife scars. But I have some flesh-bound canvas left in case you're looking to add to my collection. If you believe you can be my death nail to accomplish what the finest could not, sweetheart, be my guest. 9 lives don't apply to the devil's favorite demon in training. But one day, even the best must bite that proverbial dust. The moment I stop, I will most likely drop dead where I stand. And the bets are up as to how and when. But it damn sure isn't tonight, so don't hold your breath, because blue doesn't suit you, my darling. And I have far better ideas of how we can entertain this night's witching hours. I never said I was here for a long time, but I'm damn sure here for a good time. And that's the end of that one.
Wow. John. Wow. Wow. That sounded pretty autobiographical, my friend.
Well, yeah.
Well, I didn't want
that's a deep statement. That's autobiographical. Yeah.
Well, I just didn't want you tell all your business. You know what I mean? Because if it wasn't
you know me. You like, John's absolutely nuts. That's why he has to pay to be on the show. And I'm like, but I just pay because I like hanging out with you. We're great friends. And thank you for lifting the restraining order.
Yes, but you never shared with me that you suffered a mini stroke, because I've had one.
Yeah, it's not something that we don't go all into it, but it really wasn't fun. I don't recommend it. As for it wasn't a good vacation from publication. It really wasn't.
Okay. Oh yes. I mean, hey, I literally, know, and this is just 2 years ago. Just 2 years ago. So wow.
Yeah. I know.
We do.
It was weird because you'd had that, and then we taped not long after that. Man, that was
right.
You're a badass, man.
But still, you never told me that you had one. Now, what kind of friend?
Well, I mean, I didn't want to make you jealous. It's like, well, I had one. Well, I had one too.
I am going to have to revisit our friendship.
I know. Boy, this really throws our trip to Disney World off, doesn't it? I mean, like, yeah.
Question for you. And that was an extremely powerful piece. Now, what I want to know is, if your poetry was a drink, what would it taste like?
Question.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. We'll say, like whiskey, like a fine whiskey, like a fine bourbon.
Okay. Now, is Jack Daniels considered a fine whiskey? Is that whiskey? I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't know if it's a fine whiskey, but it can taste fine on occasion. It's not my drink. I'm more of a Four Roses and Jim Beam drinker. So, but yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, special plug, because then maybe they'll send me free stuff.
That's true. Well, they had called me, and that's why I asked that question.
That's going to be, Jack Daniels. I don't care. Whoever it is, man. Yeah.
So it would be a fine whiskey. What about a fine whiskey makes your poetry come alive?
What? Really, man?
Yeah.
What makes it come alive?
Yes.
I don't know if it makes it come alive, but it's good tuning juice for the lunatic. So we all know who that is. Then nobody ever has to guess who I'm talking about. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah. But well, pretty much whenever I'm awake, I'm drinking, and then people are like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, hey, you got to do something.
What can I say?
All right, then. Share another poem, please, sir.
All right. This is not a deep one either. I don't know why I'm not being deep tonight. This is a little one that's part of my children's book. I think it's going to be my finest children's novel ever, called Demonic Queens. Both vicious and delicious all the same, leaving scratches upon your back, and that want forever burning within your soul, tied down to anticipate the sting of the exquisite lash. There is no love, only rage within the shared pleasures. Fire's promises of agonies, the release in death, as in life, the edge is ever so appealing. Let us taste the wrath of the delight's denial. Exquisite is the sin, with all the power to curb every doubt. Yes, you're going to hell, but at least it's with a smile that shall ever rest eternal upon your face. Was it good for you? If she can turn on the night itself, then why the fuck are you even asking? And that's the end of that one.
Wow.
Thank you. Bravo.
Wow. So bravo to you. So you've written a children's book as well?
No, Michael, that was a joke.
Oh. I was going to say, what kind of friendship is this?
I told you we're not allowed. We shouldn't have those drinks in the green room. I told you.
Okay. I was like, what kind of friendship is this? I know nothing about this man. He's my brother. He's with the children's book.
All the kids would love me. Hey, Mom, I want to go hang out with that drunk. He's like, shut up. He's just like your uncle.
All right. All right, here we go. What kind of weather best represents your creative process?
A hurricane.
Okay. Tell me more, man. Break it down for me.
Because it's total fucking chaos. The power's out. The trees are, the winds are blowing. The trees are falling down. Everything, all hell's breaking loose. It's pretty much. That's me in a nutshell. I'm a nutcase. It's snowing. It's sleeting. It's everything. Like Cat Williams used to say his old joke about the weather when he was in Ohio or something. They got all kinds of weather here or something like that. We got all the weather here. So, yeah, that's me. It's all one big hurricane. It's a total mess, shitstorm, delight. Wow.
Well, here's another question in the same vein. If your poetry had a favorite season, what would it be and why? A favorite season?
October, of course, because that's just, I mean, that's like when the world turns into a gigantic strip club. I love October, especially Halloween parties. I'm like, I can go to a party. I'm like, wow, I don't have to pay for this. There's naughty nurses here, and there's Elvira. There's like 15 Elviras. It's like, you know, it might not be the real one, but it doesn't matter. With enough drinks and the lights off, I don't give a shit.
Everybody's Elvira. But October is not a season.
Oh, it's not a season? Oh, yeah, you're right. It's not. The fall.
Okay. The fall, okay. Because
sorry, I misheard the question. I'm drinking alcohol.
Yes, that's okay, man. You're doing fine. Because I think I would choose the fall, too. Right there before winter starts.
That's right.
There's some sunny days, and then there's some cold and nasty days.
I know. It's like
right
you're trying to cover up my big mistake, but it was so funny, man. I would just drip on it. It's okay.
I know that you love animals. Am I correct?
Okay.
As we were building our friendship, that you love animals. Just say yes. Just say yes. So I don't look stupid on air.
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. Okay.
I love them, but not in a strange way.
So, buddy, if your poems were birds, what species would they be? And why? If they were birds.
That's a good one. I would like to say the duck, because I like ducks. Okay. And ducks are pretty much, you know, a duck's quack doesn't echo. That's a little fact for human beings out there. And people say, God, man, just wait till I get on Jeopardy. I'll be a millionaire. So, yeah.
Okay, so say it again. Ducks' quacks are echoes?
No, they don't echo. A duck's quack does not echo.
Okay, I never knew that. I wonder, do you know why?
Hell no, I don't know why. I just read it.
Well, you can't just put out a statement like that.
That or a penguin, because that's the only bird that doesn't fly. It just swims. It's like, well, it's kind of like it's like a drunk fish that doesn't know it's actually supposed to be a fish. I don't even know what the hell it is, but now you're getting me all into outer space. That's okay. We're having fun.
Well, fish don't live in outer space, bud.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. That's right. Okay. Well, I'm trying to think what my bird would be. It would need to be something regal.
Yes. Like the turkey.
Like a condor. like a condor, not a buzzard.
The California condor.
A California condor. Because actually, I watched a documentary on YouTube about condors and not buzzards. What else do you call vultures and their wingspans?
Yes.
You don't care. I can tell you don't care.
they're extinct from what I know, but yes, they had a gigantic wingspan. Yeah. And I don't think we're gonna find them, Michael. I'm sorry. Not on the show. We don't find California condor.
Okay. Please share a poem.
Well, in the spirit of your love of birds, this is called So Did Follow the Buzzards. This is a serious one.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm being serious. Thank you.
Yeah.
But is in the reflections of the soul's window, mesmerized by the carnival's lights, we are equal with a child's wonder, as that truth remains our cognitive tissue, evolving against our will, but no matter the withered shell, that wonder still does exist. The players to a never-ending game, a force of nature, and a persona to capture us equally. Magic is in the moments that suspend reality, horrors that you breathe life to prove monsters from the abyss do truly exist. For every hero must have a villain to rally against. No matter the stage, the power's truth can never be denied. As a light may be extinguished, be rekindled forever within a memory. That's the end of that one.
Wow. Man, you're sharing some nice stuff tonight. You always do, but maybe I'm listening.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I know between our discussions of let's go hunting the California condor.
It only took 6 times of your being on the show for me to listen. But now that I'm listening, you're doing a great job.
Man, you're really good now that you're crazier than batshit nowadays, and you're really getting good at this stuff.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
What color is the sound of your writing when you close your eyes? What color is the sound of your writing?
Oh, wow. That really depends on how much I dosed. I mean, there's a multitude of colors. I don't really know colors that well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't. It's a kaleidoscope, a menagerie of colors. Bright colors.
Stick with the primary colors. Just stick with the primary ones. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to do a cherry flavor or anything like that. Just stick with the red, green,
let's
blue.
Go. Let's go with a nice magenta, just because I want to say magenta for no apparent reason. So we'll go with that.
Wow, a magenta color.
Yeah, like I couldn't even pick it out of the lineup, so I'm lying completely. So it's.
Hold on 1 second, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Here we go. Magenta, according to Google, is a color that is variously defined as purplish red or reddish purplish. On color wheels of the RGB and the CMY, it's located precisely midway between red and blue. Now, work with me here. Red in many instances symbolizes anger. And blue in many instances symbolizes depression. So if it's magentas in the middle, are you describing yourself?
There you go. You cracked the Da Vinci Code. It's amazing. I'm going to have to pay for this. Oh, you already did. Never mind.
That was good. That was good, though. That really was.
That was good. Wow. Jeez, man.
It was.
Dr. Phil, get out of the room, man. You got to
if I might say so myself. But again, the red and the blue. No, the red and the. What did you Google say? The red and the blue. I think I live in the middle of that. The red and the blue. Maybe my color is magenta too. Because
there you go.
I can be angry.
Now that sounds like Dr. Seuss, and I'm telling you, we're on to a children's book. The kids are going to be like,
you mean awesome. You wrote a children's book too, and you didn't tell?
Yeah, right on the air. Amazing.
You're supposed to be my friend. Okay, here's a question.
No.
This is a good question.
Mm-hmm.
If you could invite 3 historical figures to a poetry reading, who would they be and why? I prepared tonight, as you can tell.
Yes, well, okay. Rasputin, because he doesn't like to bathe, but he gets plenty of chicks, and that's going to be.
Yes,
I want to see that game. That's player game beyond player game.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean Mozart, because we're going to have some music, and I mean he was crazy, and I want to see how crazy we're talking about.
All right.
And Van Gogh, because I want somebody who can talk around, but like if I don't want him to hear stuff, I'll just move on to the other side where he cut his ear off so he can't hear me. So there you go. Don't mess with me because I have the answer.
I see that. Now let's dissect that answer.
No. Let's not. Let's say we did.
Pretty please, bud. Can we dissect that answer?
Sure.
So you said Vincent van Gogh, Mozart, and Rasputin. What is a commonality between the three of those? Because, I mean, they're incredible people.
Well, they were all batshit crazy and like to party. And I don't know if you know this, but I'm batshit crazy and like to party. And I think that's going to be a good night. I think it is.
You mean you're batshit crazy and you never told me?
I know.
And
we're sharing so many things. And I like it between this is all this serious work with me not actually trying to be humorous and being crazy in between. It's a great mix, man. On fire.
John Patrick Robbins, seriously. Can you describe the scent of your poetry? The scent.
It would be something deep fried. We're Southern. Let's be honest. You know, I mean, yes, it would be delicious. It would be delicious anytime because deep fried food are guilty pleasures.
Yes,
and
I agree.
You know,
I agree.
This isn't Pier 1 imports, people. You're gonna if you hang out with me, you're gonna end up smelling like French fries and onion rings. Let's just say there's worse things to cover the scent of. You know, who have you been with? I've been in McDonald's all night.
I know that you're musically inclined. We've talked about that.
Yes, there you go.
And you've heard of famous dances like the Charleston. What's another famous dance, man?
The electric waltz, slide.
The electric.
Yes, it's right
God,
there.
man, you know what? That was going to be my next one. I had three in mind: the Charleston, the waltz, and the electric slide. So my question is. How do you think your poetry would dance if it came to life?
Oh, man. I mean, it'd be Saturday Night Fever all over again. Let's be honest. I mean, the gold chains would come out. It would be funky.
Right,
I mean, I wouldn't do the dancing. I would play. I'm a DJ. See, I can sit back and pretend I know how to dance. I can dance from the chair. I'm excellent. Don't make me have to move my feet. Then we're in trouble. It's like, is he having a seizure? No, he's trying to dance. You know.
Okay. We'll be right back. Take a brief break, but we'll be right back.
All right.
We are back. I am Michael Anthony Ingram. I'm here with John Patrick Robbins. I want to talk about the electric slide for a second.
Oh, come on, man.
No, seriously. That was the only dance my grandma could do.
Well, oddly enough, you and your grandma have a lot in common.
Yeah, actually we do. I would dance with her, beside her. But I wanted you to know that. Now, I don't know what she did in her younger days, but I know.
No. Okay.
All right, here we go. John Patrick Robbins, please share a poem.
All right, Bart, I'm going to be nice for 2 seconds. I've been serious. All these writes have been serious. I figured we're doing so zany, I might as well stick with the serious because we handle the in-between fine.
Yes,
we're a great team. We're going on the road. Buddy. Anyway, you know, sometimes some people go out of your life and you can't imagine life without them, and then they return. And this is one I'm going to dedicate special to a very somebody who came back in my life after a very long winter. We're talking about like 4 or 5 years. And, yeah, I'm just really grateful for that. And the Tracer is for you. So it's for I love them all. As every pillow top confession was my momentary truth, you are my happiness within the depths of addiction. Your name's interchangeable, your heart's never that which I can be so easily defined. My love is a passion, but that alone will never keep you warm and fed. My love is not worth having, unlike yourself. I am sorry I must seek you out in lesser hearts and empty faces, but know I embrace you eternal within the pages of my life's journal. The place where passions are enough for us to exist alone. I will trace every thought ultimately unto myself. We share a truth, none may diminish, my dear. Forever exist beyond the flesh I know. Please hold me close, if only as a moment memory within the chambers of your ever-beating heart. That's the end of that one.
Wow. Now, are those books? Are they in your new book? Those poems, are they in your new book?
Yeah. Some of these are publication rights. The one I start out with is that was published at a magazine that I couldn't believe the editor published me. It's called the Rye Whiskey Review, and but that one in particular is from Midnight Masochism. Once will be out sometime when my press gets it rolling, and but you know, we take our time, but it will be out and it'll be available on Amazon. So this is a preview of that, and I guess you know, we probably need to continue.
Well, tell me.
I don't mean to hijack things.
No, it's okay. You've done it before, and that's all right.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Midnight Masochism. That title. Tell us about the book. Tell us about the poems in that particular book. How are they different from your others?
The thing is, if you read Are We Dead Yet? The Change, the Southern Gothic vibe, there was something missing in that book to me personally. I'm never completely happy with the project. And in that book, I realized I still had to kind of embrace all sides, the humor as well. And this has more of the dark humor, more of my past, it just has everything. It's a good mix of everything. And I think people will really dig it. At least I hope they will. If not, oh well, no refunds.
Okay. Now, I remember when you were with me the last time, you said that it was that particular Are We Dead Yet? That was a book that people would say, hey, this is not John. John doesn't write like this. So this book, where does that fit in that category? Is it something you write? Is it style or it's something different?
It's an evolution. It's like anything. It's I think you have to grow as a writer. You always have to want to expand and get better. And I mean, I could have hung around and did, you know, barroom poems forever. There's plenty of people, that's what they do. That's their niche. And I'm not knocking them. It's just, you know, I do it. I definitely do humor well, but there's more to me than that. You know, I mean, like I said, I'm also a short story writer, so it's just an evolution of things, really. And every book should be expanding, not, you know, I mean, some people like a band that does the same record 20,000 times over. I have never done the same book 100 times over. I can guarantee that.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, if your poetry then were translated into music, a specific genre of music, which one would it be and why? A genre.
Genre of music. Oh, man. You know, that would be hard, very hard to define. You know, I love jazz, of course.
Yes, I know that.
I love the feeling. I do. I absolutely love jazz. Then again, I'm kind of weird because I like the polar opposite. I can go there with music that's almost anti-music, with like Norwegian death metal, and people look at me like, "Are you crazy?" I'm like, "Hey, we all have our moments."
Yes, we do.
You know, I like orchestral music. I don't know. it always comes down to rock and roll, man. I just love music, man. And any kind of cognitive tissue with any music that you really like, to me, is soul. And so I really don't have an answer for it, but I guess rock. It's always rock and roll, man.
Okay. Okay.
You know?
Okay. So those individuals who view themselves as being goth, what genre of music would they? What's attached to them? Type of genre.
Well, they would probably be defined in the goth genre of music. So.
Okay. Oh, like gothic music.
Yeah, like gothic music. Ones I do love too. It'd be like Sisters of Mercy and stuff like that. So yeah, not to be a smart ass. I'm actually trying to answer the question. Okay.
All right. I think I would choose the blues.
Oh, I love the blues. Yeah.
Because the blues. Because I've been down so long, I don't know what up looks like. That kind of stuff. That might be.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That's how I feel most times. So, if you were a poetic superhero, what would be your superpower, and how would you use it to inspire others? Until I worked on this. I worked. I had to be ready.
You worked on tormenting me. I'm so proud of you, this one. I am a villain. So, yeah, that completely, I'm everybody's favorite villain. Let's face it. When it comes to publication, I'm everybody's favorite villain, and I play it up to the hilt. So, and I don't know what my villain power would be. Pretty much to just piss on everybody's parade, but have a good time and make everybody laugh. And those that like me are like, oh, it's just John. We have to ignore him. He's a jerk.
But you do have veto power. The power of the veto, right? Mm-hmm. That would be.
If you say so,
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah, it's a part of, I work at the press on occasion, and it's like I'm kind of like the janitor. He's like, he's in his closet. I'm not saying I'm in the closet, but it's kind of nice in there sometimes. What can I say?
Yeah.
I have my little TV in my refrigerator, and I stay drunk all the time, and the floors are never clean, but that's okay.
Okay.
They can't fire me because I own the company.
Right. Because you love animals, and we've already established that.
Mm-hmm.
If you could write a poem that could only be understood by animals, what would the poem be about? What would the poem be about? That only animals
I would
can
share
understand.
it with you, Michael, but it can only be understood by dolphins. So, you're like, oh my God, there we go. The first ever poetic dolphin reading on the show.
Oh wow, that was good. That was cool. I like that.
I'm so quick on my feet. That's why you like having me. I was like, wow,
that's true, buddy. That's right.
You do whatever I want now.
You roll with the flow, bud. You roll with the flow. Please share a poem.
All right, now with all the joking. We're going to do one of the heavy right. I'm kind of known for the deep cut, so I'm going to do this one. And this will kill the room, Michael. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
But this is just a really deep cuts from the new book. It's called Let Me Tell You About the Rabbits. I'm watching the light slowly disintegrate behind your eyes. My friend, my only family, the last of anything that tethers me to my past. I am a prisoner to my addiction, and you are but a prisoner to a withering shell. I love you as the person that gave me life. I grieve you as something I will never be able to replace. Upon many a sunset, I walk down to the water, a pistol concealed within my pocket, as I dwell on taking that final step. But as a coward, I cannot do what needs to be done. I cannot leave you, as you have not chosen to leave me. But you must know this. There are moments you shine through. There are glimmers of hope within the darkest depths of my existence has ever known. At times I resent you, as ignorant as that sounds. I must run off anger, because there's nothing left of me anymore. but fear and saltwater tears. Sometimes I drink, watching the water's currents slowly glide, is the silent brilliance of nature. I feel for the pistol. As I can say, I fear not death, for I very much fear my existence without you. I cannot be weak, and I have almost nothing within me left that is strong. I know my torments have only begun, but I will not leave you with my sudden exit's pain to bear alone. I hate myself beyond words, for my concern as the heartless bastard role sounds good in pages and upon the forked tongues of a jealous fools alike. One day I will tell you my story in a headline of a tragic soul suicide, but for now I will bear this burden to embrace your hardships, as you deserve that. At least it is a struggle to fight my endless urge. Take the road that leads me away. I will remain a ghost of myself. We are both victims, just inmates of two very unique prisons. My sacrifice is in awaiting your send-off. Your story's close will be my vanishing point. Part of my heart will cease to exist in the exit of your soul. Either way, I love you always. End of that one.
Wow.
That's how you kill the room.
Yes. I need a second to process that one, bud. You said so much. You said so much.
Well, it's one of those deep ones you put out there, you know. It's like anything.
Yeah, I understand.
So, you get the full gamut of my writing. It's not just alcoholism and passing out in other people's yards.
Right.
Once I do enjoy it. I'm on tour currently, and I'm in my neighbor's yard right now.
Okay. So is that poem in Midnight Masochism?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So with that particular book, are you striving to reach, is it a general audience, or are you targeting a specific group?
I mean, I would love to hit a general audience because that means you make money. And I like that. That's very nice.
Yeah. Money is good.
But I don't write specifically for anyone, really. I just write for myself. And if, people who like what I do dig it, that's great because I try to give them the most for their money. I mean, one thing about it, I'm not just like rehashing 1,000 rights in publication, slapping some cover on it that looks goofy as, and I give you a good product. I tried to give you the best book I possibly can and make it worth your money, So I'm not really, am I specifically targeting things? I mean, I'm just writing the best book I can at the time, and trying to, and to me, everyone I want to be better because I'm never completely 100%, like I said, satisfied with any project. And the day that I am, I will stop writing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any lines in that particular poem that you're really proud of writing or creating?
I mean, it's just one of those ones that's just really deep. So you just have to kind of, the contrast in it, walking down the water and just, it hits you, I've never had anybody that's read that or shared that with anybody. It didn't hit them hard. I mean, it's one of those
it hit
ones
me hard.
You want to connect, and you want to. That's the thing, Or as deep cuts as I call them. I think it's one of my better, But maybe I'm wrong.
And that was going to be my question because you said you pretty much write for yourself, and it made me wonder, listening to that particular piece, what emotions would you have aimed to evoke in your readers through your poetry? What would you want them to feel?
It's more of a confessional, It's like I don't always. Not everything I write is autobiographical. That's the art of writing.
Right.
I mean, people read the gothic stuff, and maybe it's like I try to entertain as best I can. But with that's just one of those that. It was just one of those. I had the title, start with the title, and it's tongue in cheek. you know, because let me tell you about the rabbits. Once, of course, is Steinbeck, you know, of Mice and Men. If anybody knows that book, once a lot of us had to read. And, you know, tell me about the rabbits, George. So it was like, you know, that emotion, that pain that you can get, because that book just fucking misery, but it's a great book. You know, I mean, I don't know. I'm just really good at misery. I'm misery and making people laugh and making them think I'm crazy. It's pretty much my wheelhouse.
Okay, all right. Now, do you have a favorite poem or a specific line of poetry that resonates deeply with you?
Well, all of them do, but you know, they all do. And there's funny ones in there too, by the way. It's not all. I don't want people to think, God,
no.
We're having fun. So,
I don't mean in your book. I mean in general.
So, in general, line.
Yes.
Is that
a favorite poem?
You know what? This is bad. I do. I mean, God, and it's, I love it when you have these moments where you go blank because you ask me a question like that, and I know exactly who I'm talking about. Pablo Neruda. Tonight I can write the saddest lines. You know, don't ask me to quote the line in there, but that's a great poem. I love that.
Wow.
Okay, there you go. One of my absolute favorite poems.
Okay. What about it stands out for you?
The vulnerability, the humanity in it, really. Just here it is, you know. And there's just that slight bit of humor in there. There is a slight bit, you know. Because I'm going to misquote it, so I don't really want to do that. But, you know.
Right.
I loved her, and she loved me sometimes, or however it goes. And I know somebody will call, oh, you messed up. Okay, thank you. Well, glad no one in school.
Right. No, so, I understand.
That just resonates with me. That's an incredible poem, and I wish I could write like that. You know, those when you admire those deep cuts. You know, Alone by Edgar Allan Poe is another one that I absolutely love. You know, those are just poems that they're just impactful. They fucking hit you like a sledgehammer, really. You know. And so, there you go. Tonight I Can Write by Pablo Neruda. Translated by W.S. Merwin. Yes. Yeah. Tonight I can write the saddest lines. Write, for example, the night is starry, and the stars are blue and shiver in the distance. The night wind revolves in the sky and sings. Tonight I can write the saddest lines. I loved her, and sometimes she loved me too. Through nights like this one, I held her in my arms. I kissed her again and again under the endless sky. She loved me. Sometimes I loved her too. How could one not have loved her great steel eyes? Tonight I write the saddest lines, to think that I do not have her, to feel that I have lost her, to hear the immense night still more immense without her, and the verse falls to the soul like dew to the pasture. What does it matter that my love could not keep her? The night is starry, and she is not with me. This is all. In the distance, someone singing. In the distance. My soul is not satisfied that it has lost her. My sight tries to find her as though to bring her closer. My heart looks for her, and she's not with me. The same night, whitening the same trees. We of that time are no longer the same. I no longer love her, that's certain, but how I loved her. My voice tries to find the wind to touch her hearing. Another's. She will be another's. As she was before my kisses, her voice, her bright body, her infinite eyes. I no longer love her, that's certain, but maybe I love her. Love is so short, forgetting is so long, because through nights like this one, I held her in my arms.
My soul is not satisfied that it has lost her. Though this be the last pain that she makes me suffer, and these, the last verses that I write for her. Wow, that's a bad poem, man. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. I didn't write it, but yeah, it's great.
I had never heard of it before.
Yeah.
I never heard it. Man, that's great. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great poem.
Yes, it is, man.
I agree.
Wow. 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 Please share another of your works, man.
All right. Let's see. Should we go deep or should we lighten the mood?
Well, let's lighten it a little bit.
A little bit. Okay. You know what? I'm going to read one of the most beautiful Southern love poems that's ever been created by my favorite author, and his name is John Patrick Robbins.
Oh, wow.
And I sleep with him on a daily basis, and I hate to admit I profess my love for him. It's called I'm So Southern I Fuck Myself.
Okay.
And here we go, kids. Clap along if you all know. Because after being advised to do so for countless years, I figured why not? So I dressed myself up and went out for a night on the town. Drank until I could barely speak, let alone function. Passed out upon the floor and was gone before there was any of that awkward, we just fucked, and I can't recall it either, so it's been swell. Then penned another poem about my conquest and hopes to lure in some horny housewife who needs some perv's attention. As I sit alone sometimes and check my phone and question why I do not call, so I will ring another instead, as I think it with them tonight, reflecting upon you, as we meet in the mirror and you shoot me that look of disgust, and I can barely look at myself in the eyes. But I knew it was doomed from the start, because face it, girl, you knew deep down I am forever a slut. Au revoir, my darlings. Wow, that's beautiful. Bravo to me.
Wow. Wow. That was beautiful.
I mean, it really was. I mean, Hallmark's going to pick that one up. They really are. I've got faith. Faith. And the Great Lay section, it's going to be right there.
Well, it brings up a question. When you think about writing, my friend, do you have any rituals or routines that help you get into the right mindset for writing poetry? Any rituals or routines?
Oh, well, thank you. I didn't think you would ask that. I usually like to sacrifice one of my neighbors if I can catch them. They move very fast. And I'm just learning to throw the axe. And I'm like, I miss you. You have to be so rude to my religion. And then as we sacrifice and we praise Odin, then we come onto the show and see how wonderful it's going. I mean, like, just saying, more writers are going to join my cult.
So, are you saying that you don't have any rituals or routines? Is that what you're saying?
I might think I just said I did.
You just write. Okay. All right.
I just write. Oh, okay. I just write. Yeah, wink, wink. I just write. Yeah, sure.
So, whatever happens, happens.
That's right. I agree.
You know, I don't write enough, my friend, to even think about a ritual or routine.
Well, that's a shame.
This is not about me. This is not about me. I don't like writing. I don't like writing poetry.
Okay. Neither do I. I figure I'm lazy and I like writing short stories, and I've been working on a novel for how many years, and it's like, people are like, man, this has got to be great or.
Listen, bud, I don't like writing anything. When people
me neither.
checks,
wow.
I didn't like writing checks.
No, I don't like writing checks. I like cashing checks.
Yeah, writing too. Oh yeah. Oh, I wish I had something to cash right now.
I got a check for $5 whole. That's from another poet.
Well, we're coming close to the end of this poetic journey. Would you be willing to share one more piece with us?
Oh, of course. Yeah, let's just let's go and let's have a little laugh because we've been so serious.
Yeah.
You know,
it works.
We've been dead serious. I don't know. You know what? There is one I like that I have to find. Here it is. It's from the new book, and it's not that dark. So here we go. It's called Venetian, Ever So Blind. All the sad old queens sit alone, as very much do I, left behind in this sad tide's pool, to wish, want, and ultimately desire all those things that never will return in truth. Dancing alone, as we eventually dance no more, sipping at this sadness, to embrace it, a cancer to our ultimate destruction. The large cat's eyes clock glued upon the wall counts away. It's almost time, girls. Let's all giggle in ecstasy. Silly are the children, as sad are the full-grown fools we sadly end up being. Take a step back and spin upon your toes, for the fact you still can. Good night, my doves. Find grace in the parlor tricks and the one-night stand. Lost to never be found seems such a sad ending. But then again, aren't they all? The end of that one.
Wow. You know, here's a question I don't think I've ever asked you. How do you handle criticism or feedback on your writing, and how does it impact your revisions or future projects?
You know, I did listen to quite a bit probably in the early stages, but you know, if you stay your true course and I always try to improve. I always look at what I'm doing and always try to outdo it, but I really study the course. And as far as criticism, it depends who it's coming from.
Okay.
If you can do what I do, I'll listen to you. And there's very few that can. And that sounds egotistical, but it's the truth.
All right.
So, yeah, I just stay me. That's all I do. And I think, you know, I'm not trying to be, I think a lot of writers bleed the influences too much, and you hear too much of the old writers. And, like, you know, I get tired of every day running a magazine and hearing a tribute to Bukowski. I don't want to hear about his name anymore to begin with. And, you know, the whole point is they weren't sitting around, you know, worrying about critics. They were working as writers. And that's what you do. Keep working through it, you know. And I'll take criticism. I don't mind it. You know, it just if it comes from people that I know that are true in what they're doing, not just some jealous, you know, whatever, then okay. But it's not gonna make me turn course, because what I do is completely unique to me. So, you know, I don't think there's anybody else. I don't know any other lunatic out there like me.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, I like it. Well, as we close, is there any message that you want to give to the listeners about your work, about that book?
About my work and about the book.
Either one.
Buy it.
Okay.
When it comes out eventually, that's nice. I like that because I like to afford, you know, cocktails. So no, just thank you for reading, and for the people who buy it, man, you can't believe how grateful I am, because they don't have to, and I never could imagine anybody would ever want to buy my books. So I humbly thank you. Yeah.
You know, I enjoy your being on the podcast. You make me laugh, and I like that, buddy. You're a good man. You're my friend.
love hanging out with you, man. You know that.
Yeah,
we know each other
yeah.
outside of this place. So
Yes, we do. We do.
Yep.
We do. You're like my brother. I've said it before. Brother from
we are
another
brothers.
mother. Yes, right. We are.
That's right.
We are brothers. We are brothers.
Yes.
All right, then.
I agree.
Everyone, as I share with you every time we're together, let poetry ring somewhere throughout the land. Take care, brother.
Take care.
Quintessential Listening, Poetry Online Radio, is available on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. You can also check out the website at QLPOR.com.